On Lou's very first day working as a caregiver, she is immediately shocked by the man she is supposed to take care of. Her patient, Will Trainer, suddenly pretends to have a stroke. The act continues until his mother, Callista, steps in and stops the whole performance before introducing herself. Lou quickly realizes that the rude man in front of her is actually the patient she has been hired to look after. The humiliating situation leaves her deeply embarrassed. For a moment, she even considers quitting the job right away, but her family's financial situation makes that impossible. Ever since her father lost his job, Lou has been the one supporting the entire household. Like it or not, she has no choice but to stay. Before starting the job, Lou had already heard stories about Will's terrible personality. Several caregivers had already given up because of him, and Lou is now the fourth one trying her luck. Will comes from a wealthy family and used to live a life full of luxury. He was handsome, successful, and seemed to have everything. But a terrible accident a few years earlier changed everything. The injury damaged his spine and left him completely paralyzed. Not long after that, the girlfriend he loved eventually left him as well. Since then, Will has shut himself off from the world. Most of his days are spent alone in his room, rarely speaking to anyone, including Lou. This is me before you. Even so, Lou refuses to give up. Every single day she arrives at the grand house right on time. Sometimes she even wears colorful and unusual outfits just to try to make Will smile. Deep down, she understands that someone who once lived such an exciting life would struggle to accept a sudden and permanent disability. The next day, Lou officially begins her duties. When she arrives at Will's house, she meets Nathan, Will's medical caregiver. Nathan hands her a long schedule of medications that she must give to Will throughout the day. Seeing how many medicines there are immediately overwhelms Lou, who worries about remembering all of them correctly. After that, Lou hesitates before approaching Will. She feels awkward and nervous, afraid of disturbing him, while he quietly spends time alone in his wheelchair. Eventually, she gathers her courage and asks if there is anything he needs or if there are activities he enjoys. Unfortunately, the attempt only irritates him. Will quickly makes it clear that he does not like people talking too much around him and prefers to be left alone. Feeling uncomfortable, Lou quietly leaves his room so he can return to his usual solitude. She then retreats to the kitchen and spends some time reading through the medical notes Nathan gave her earlier that morning. A little while later, Nathan returns and tells her to take a short break. Lou eventually steps outside and sits in the garden. She cannot help but feel disappointed. Her new job is far more difficult and emotionally draining than she expected. Days pass, and Lou continues doing her work. She keeps trying to get closer to Will, but he constantly avoids her. Even so, she keeps showing up every day with the same cheerful smile. After work, Lou often vents her frustrations to her sister Catherine. Catherine listens patiently and encourages her to stay strong. During one of their conversations, Catherine reveals that she plans to go back to college and move away from home. At first, Lou disagrees, worried about being left with even more responsibility. But after thinking it through, she realizes that opportunities like this do not come often. In the end, she reluctantly supports her sister's decision. One day, Will receives some painful news. He learns that his ex-girlfriend is now dating his own best friend. To make things worse, the two of them will even come to visit him. Lou can only imagine how devastated he must feel. After they leave, Will releases his frustration by smashing a photo frame until it shatters. Later that day, Lou meets up with Patrick and vents about everything that happened at Will's house. Patrick tries to cheer her up by inviting her on a trip to Norway with him and his friends. At first, it sounds like a romantic getaway, but Lou soon finds out that Patrick is actually going there to participate in a marathon. Realizing it will not be the relaxing vacation she imagined leaves her feeling a little disappointed. The next day, Lou returns to Will's house and quietly tries to fix the photo frame he broke the day before. When Will notices this, he immediately becomes annoyed. He had intended to throw that photo away, but Lou chose to repair it instead. Hearing that makes Lou lose her temper. All the frustration she has been holding inside finally comes out. She admits that the only reason she has stayed in this job is not because she enjoys it, but because she desperately needs the money. The words leave Will silent. He simply walks away and returns to his room. After a while, feeling bored, he calls Lou and asks her to watch a movie with him. Lou reluctantly agrees. When the movie ends, they begin arguing about the ending. Even though they disagree about how the story concludes, they both admit they actually enjoyed the film. Soon after, Will suggests going outside for a short walk. From that moment on, something begins to change between them. They slowly start spending more time together, and their relationship grows closer. Nathan notices this as well, and he is happy to see it. For the first time in a long while, Will is starting to laugh again. A few days later, Lou accompanies Will to the hospital for his routine checkup. His spinal condition has to be examined every 6 months. While Will is inside, Lou waits outside with Nathan. During their conversation, Lou receives some shocking news. Nathan explains that Will's condition will never improve. The next day, Lou returns to work as usual. This time, instead of seeing Nathan, she runs into Stephen, Will's father. When Lou asks about Nathan, Stephen explains that he is currently in London taking care of something. After Stephen leaves, Lou continues with her work. A little while later, she goes to check on Will and finds him asleep in bed. His weak and exhausted appearance immediately makes her panic. She tries calling Stephen and Nathan, but neither of them answers. Just as she is about to call Callista, Will stops her and insists that he is fine. Not long after that, Nathan finally arrives. He quickly goes to help Will change his clothes. While Nathan is assisting him, Lou accidentally notices a large wound on Will's arm. Seeing this makes her even more worried about his condition, so she decides to stay the night at the house just in case he needs help. Later, while feeling bored, Lou starts watching an old birthday video stored on Will's laptop. After a while, Will wakes up and invites her to sit and talk with him. Lou walks over and tries to lift his spirits by telling a story and even singing a little. Her silly effort actually works. For a brief moment, Will bursts into laughter. Soon after, he falls asleep again, while Lou remains sitting quietly beside his bed, keeping him company. The next day, Lou and Will spend some time together in the garden, talking about their personal lives. During the conversation, Lou opens up about a dream she once had. She had always wanted to study fashion in college, but she had to bury that dream because her family simply could not afford the tuition. Hearing this, Will encourages her not to give up completely. He believes that one day she should try to chase that dream again. Later, while walking through the hallway of the house, Lou accidentally overhears an argument between Stephen and Callista. The conversation shocks her. She learns that Will has already decided to end his life through a clinic in Switzerland that helps people carry out assisted death. Stephen supports Will's decision, believing that his son is suffering too much in his current condition. Callista, however, cannot accept the idea of losing him. That is why she hired Lou in the first place, hoping Lou could keep Will company and somehow convince him to change his mind. The truth completely shakes Lou. Her mind becomes so overwhelmed that she barely notices Nathan trying to talk to her. Feeling confused and upset, she decides to visit her sister Catherine. When they meet, Lou tells Catherine everything she just heard. The revelation leaves her feeling betrayed by Will's family, and for a moment she even considers quitting the job altogether. But Catherine encourages her to stay. She believes Lou might be the one person who can still bring some color back into Will's life. Taking her sister's advice to heart, Lou decides to keep working. She even makes a list of activities that might help Will enjoy life again. The first plan on her list is to take Will to a horse racing event, along with Nathan. Unfortunately, things do not start smoothly. When they arrive, the parking area is full of mud, and Will's wheelchair gets stuck. Thankfully, a few men nearby step in to help them out. Eventually, they make it inside the stadium and watch the races together. Will does not seem particularly interested in the event, and Lou ends up losing the bet she placed on one of the horses. After the race, they decide to have dinner at a fancy restaurant nearby. But there is a problem. The restaurant requires a special badge for entry, and Lou does not have one. Because of that, they are refused service. The situation embarrasses Will, and he asks Lou to simply take him home. Lou drives back feeling frustrated and angry. Once they arrive, Lou approaches him and hands him tickets to a classical music concert. At first, Will refuses the invitation, but Lou insists until he finally agrees to go. That evening, Lou gets ready for the concert and asks Catherine to help pick out her outfit. Not long after, she arrives at Will's house. When Will sees her that night, he is clearly amazed by how beautiful she looks. Soon, they head to the concert venue and take their seats, with Will remaining in his wheelchair as always. The performance begins shortly afterward. When the concert ends, they return home together. But when they arrive, Will does not want to leave the car right away. Instead, he asks Lou to stay there with him for a while longer, quietly sharing the moment together. The next day, while they are having a picnic together, Lou invites Will to join her birthday dinner with her family and Patrick. At first, Will hesitates. He dislikes eating in front of people he does not know. But because it is Lou's special day, he eventually agrees to come. That evening, they arrive at Lou's house and sit down for dinner with her family. While everyone is chatting, the doorbell suddenly rings. It turns out to be Patrick, who has come to join the celebration. During dinner, Lou has to help feed Will since he cannot use his hands. Watching this moment makes Patrick noticeably uncomfortable. The situation quietly sparks a feeling of jealousy inside him. After the meal, Lou's family surprises her with a birthday celebration. They sing for her, and once she blows out the candles, everyone begins giving their gifts. The first present comes from her grandfather, a scrapbook filled with memories. Patrick then gives Lou a necklace engraved with her name. Finally, Will presents her with a pair of bright yellow tights. Lou is clearly delighted by Will's gift, and her excitement does not go unnoticed. Seeing her reaction only makes Patrick even more jealous. Not long after that, Will politely excuses himself and leaves. The following day, Will receives an invitation to a wedding. The bride is Alicia, his former girlfriend, and she is about to marry his own best friend, Rupert. Learning about the wedding leaves Will deeply disappointed. Trying to clear his mind, Will invites Lou to visit an old fortress he used to go to as a child. Being there brings back many memories and reminds him of Paris, a place he once loved dearly. Lou even offers to take him there someday, but Will refuses. He feels that his physical condition would make the trip impossible. After a while, Will suddenly asks Lou to accompany him to Alicia's wedding. That night, when Lou returns home from work, she finds her parents dressed up for a small celebration. They reveal that her father has just been hired by Steven's company. Hearing this surprises Lou, so she immediately calls Will to confirm the news. It turns out that Will arranged the job for her father himself. He wants Lou to have a chance to pursue her dreams instead of carrying the burden of supporting her entire family. A few days later, a man named Michael arrives at Will's house asking to see him. Lou quietly leaves the two men alone while they talk. Curious, Lou later looks into who Michael is and discovers that he is a lawyer who specializes in writing wills. Realizing what that might mean, she quickly informs Callista about it. Soon, the day of Alicia's wedding finally arrives. Lou and Will attend the ceremony together. As the wedding takes place, Will watches everything with a heavy heart. Not long after, he runs into several old friends. Once the vows are finished, the celebration begins. While having a drink, Lou meets one of Alicia's relatives. The woman explains that she has known Will for a long time and believes he was always the better man for Alicia compared to Rupert. After sharing that opinion, she soon excuses herself and leaves. A little while later, Alicia approaches Will and thanks him for coming to the wedding. Not long after that, the guests begin dancing as the celebration continues. Will invites Lou to join him. Since he is in a wheelchair, Lou sits on his lap while the chair slowly spins, creating the feeling that they are dancing together. Some people around them find the moment unusual, but the two of them do not care. For a short time, they simply enjoy themselves. A few days later, Lou meets Patrick and tells him that she will not be able to go on the Norway trip with him next week. She explains that she already has plans to travel with Will. Hearing this makes Patrick very disappointed. Lately, he feels that Lou has been putting her job ahead of everything else. Not long after that conversation, Lou suddenly receives a message saying that Will has collapsed and lost consciousness. The news immediately sends her rushing to the hospital. When she arrives, Lou decides to stay overnight, just in case Callista or Will needs anything. The next morning, Lou walks into Will's hospital room carrying coffee for Callista. She offers to take over watching Will for a while so Callista can go change her clothes. Callista accepts the offer. Soon after, Will finally regains consciousness, which brings Lou a huge sense of relief. The following day, while Lou is sitting in the kitchen at Will's house, Nathan comes over to talk with her. They discuss Will's current condition, and Lou asks for Nathan's permission to take Will on a trip. She hopes that getting away for a while might help him enjoy life again, even if just for a short time. Nathan agrees with the idea. Later that evening, when Lou returns home from work, she is surprised to see Patrick waiting for her. He apologizes for their previous argument, and the two of them decide to make peace over dinner. But during the evening, Patrick notices a travel notebook Lou has been working on. When he looks through it, he begins to suspect that Lou might have feelings for Will. The misunderstanding quickly turns into another argument, and this time Patrick storms off, leaving Lou behind. A few days later, Lou, Nathan, and Will finally begin the long trip that Lou has carefully planned. When they arrive at their destination, they stay in a villa near the sea. Each day they spend time enjoying the beautiful ocean views. Unexpectedly, Nathan even meets a woman there and starts going out with her, leaving Lou and Will with plenty of time alone together. As the days pass, the connection between them begins to feel different, deeper than before. One night, a heavy rain begins to fall. Lou moves to close the window in Will's room, but he stops her because he wants to watch the rain. After a while, Will asks Lou to stay and sleep beside him. Lou cannot bring herself to refuse, so she quietly lies down next to him for the night. Day by day, Lou begins carrying out the activities she had carefully planned for Will. She hopes that by filling his days with new experiences, he might rediscover some joy in life. One evening, while they are enjoying the peaceful atmosphere by the beach, Lou finally brings up the truth she has been keeping inside. She tells Will that she knows about his plan to end his life. With all her heart, Lou begs him to keep living and to stay with her, but everything she has done turns out to be in vain. Will has already made up his mind. He admits that he truly loves Lou and wishes he could experience many things with her. However, his physical condition makes him feel completely helpless. He does not want to spend the rest of his life depending on others or becoming a burden to the people around him. The reality of his situation fills him with sadness and frustration. Hearing this leaves Lou deeply hurt. She feels that Will is being selfish and not thinking about her feelings at all. Overwhelmed by emotion, she walks away and leaves him behind. After that painful night, the journey back is quiet. Neither of them says a word to each other. Even so, Lou continues to care for him along the way. When they arrive at the airport, Stephen and Callista are waiting to welcome them home. They suggest having dinner together with Lou, Will, and Nathan, but Lou chooses to go home instead. Callista quickly notices that something is wrong and approaches Lou to ask what happened. In the end, Lou resigns from her job. She apologizes and admits that she failed to change Will's decision. Hearing this brings Callista to tears. When Lou returns home, she tells Catherine that she feels like she has failed. Catherine immediately pulls her into a hug. Unable to hold back her emotions any longer, Lou breaks down and cries in her sister's arms. After hearing the full story about how Lou had been trying to stop Will from ending his life, their mother becomes furious and forbids Lou from seeing Will's family again. For several days, Lou continues to cry over what happened. Eventually, her father gently tries to comfort her. He reminds her that Will's decision was his own choice and that Lou should not blame herself. Then he encourages her to go to Will before it is too late. Taking her father's advice to heart, Lou travels to Switzerland with Catherine's help. When she arrives, a staff member leads her straight to Will's room. Lou rushes inside, and Will immediately realizes that it is her. Stephen and Callista quietly leave the two of them alone, giving them time to talk one last time. During that moment, Will asks Lou to lie beside him for the final time. The two of them look at each other through tears, knowing that this will be their last moment together. Lou does not want any of this to happen, but in the end, the decision belongs to Will. 1 week after Will's passing, Lou finally decides to go to Paris, just as he once encouraged her to do. There, she visits Will's favorite cafe and reads the letter he wrote before his death. In that letter, Lou learns that Will left a large inheritance for her. He wanted her to continue her education and build the life she had always dreamed of. So, the moral of the story is sometimes you can love someone with all your heart, yet still have to let them go and learn to live the life they wished for you